Greetings, I'm Christopher Hilt, and this is From the Hilt. I have to do this video about who I am, so that you can know who you're dealing with on this channel. My name is Chris Watches. Hilt is my mother's maiden name, and I thought that sounded better as an author name, so I went with that. As a gamer, I was always called Logan. That's my hometown, that's where I come from. This is the topic that I don't really care to do. I'm learning how to do all this stuff, so we'll just start from the beginning. When I was 12, I started gaming in Dungeons and Dragons. I learned how to play, sort of. I grew up with the game, and things proceeded throughout my life, and I came to a point where, I love gaming, I love comics, I love G.I. Joe. There are certain things in my life that led me to this point, and so we'll start there. In the early 90s, I managed a comic book store. I owned a comic book store for a while. It just never panned out. That's the way things go. Then I went to work. I did what every adult does. I became an adult. Not something I aspired to be, but that's what it became. I went through a lot of jobs, of course, and then one day I got a really good job working for a city in California, and I was driving a truck for delivering food to senior citizens. It was a pretty good job, and I really liked it until the day that it wasn't my job anymore. I got hurt, which gave me plenty of time to dedicate to my love of writing and gaming, and I became a really dedicated game master over the early 2000s, and didn't really care for what the current Dungeons & Dragons was doing with the product. I had all these books and all this stuff done for a game that completely changed, and my wife and I went over what we had and decided that we were going to just do a homebrew game system, which is what a lot of people do nowadays. But we did that in way early in the 2000s. By the end of the decade, we had finalized the Lenharo game system, and we found it to be one of the best games. The way to play our favorite game. I don't really care about talking about myself, if you've noticed. So I'm going to try to make this fairly short, but as a game designer and an author, I finally published a book in 2010. I went through a bad publisher who pretended to be a publisher but was really a self-publisher, who had the rights to my stuff for quite a while. But once the rights reverted back, my wife and I just started writing our Bad Company Chronicles, and we published them on Amazon, but with the understanding that we were publishing it ourselves, and that Amazon was basically a printer, which worked for us just fine. When we decided to publish our game system, Dungeons & Dragons was doing good. I have to admit, I am not a big fan of a lot of the new editions. 5th edition wasn't bad, wasn't great. I'm basically an old school 1st and 2nd edition AD&D gamer, but those things, they're not around anymore. It's just not the same game. So when we designed our game system, we put everything we loved into gaming into the game. That's Lenharo, and if you noticed, I've kind of changed the way my camera's angled so you don't get to see my nasty basement, and so here we are in my dungeon, in my office, And from here, I will make some videos. I'll try to release a video every Friday. I'm going to start with Lynn Horror Fantasy Adventures, and we'll go from there, and we'll see how things go. I have no expectations about what this channel is going to be. I'm just going to enjoy my hobby and my game, and continue running games, and continue enjoying life and doing what we can do. Now, that all being said, welcome to Hitlore Books, and welcome to Lynn Haro, and hope you enjoy some of the things we do here. As I said last week, my brother, he is not with us anymore, but we'll keep Red alive in spirit, and I intend to do some videos where I actually read parts of books, usually the first chapter, and we'll see how that works out. And if you guys enjoy our content, I'm not going to be one of those guys every video who says please like and subscribe. I never like that, and I never would do it at the beginning of the video. You got to watch a video to know if you like it first, and so that's where I'm at with that. So if you enjoy this kind of content, gaming, role-playing, tabletop role-playing, G.I. Joe, I don't know what kind of rock and roll we're going to throw in here, but that was Red's thing, but we'll do that a little bit for him. I love rock and roll, but that was really his thing, and he was our tech guy, so I'm just learning all this stuff, so bear with me. Like I needed to know that I needed to look at the camera. It wasn't something I had to do on my laptop, so that's what I was familiar with. So here we go, and wish me luck, and we'll see how this channel goes. And that being said, I will sign out by saying Logan out. Thanks.